The question of equity, whether it's women, whether it's least developed countries, landlocked countries, the most vulnerable, right? We keep hearing about inequity, but really what can be done to shift this with private sector, with civil society? What's the difference? What needs to happen here?
What needs to happen is that more resources have to be sent towards the education programs and fast-track education program, especially for the most vulnerable countries and the least developed countries, small island developing state, and landlocked developing countries. And former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom have proposed an idea of setting up a global fund that will fund the education program. I think that is a good idea. And to correct the inequities, I think that the more focus should be put on how to strengthen the education system in the most vulnerable countries, training the trainers, building more infrastructures, improving curricula, and also sharing experience with successful cases like Finland, for example, who are doing very well, ranking #1 in the world. I think the experience of teaching there could be shared with the rest of the developing countries, but more specifically with the least developed countries, in order for them, and African countries also, in order for them to be able to leapfrog to the next stage of education.
And then how can, because we're hearing that the private sector is such a crucial component of this, that the more involvement of the private sector has got to really increase. But other than corporate social responsibility, how are they incentivized to really, on the grounds help such countries in Africa and of course least developed countries?
The African countries and LDCs are the next stage of attracting not only foreign direct investment, but also attracting knowledge-based economy. The reason being that they have a huge potential in terms of human resources, but also in terms of natural resources. So the best thing for private sector right now is to have skillful people on the ground who can help them develop and add value to those goods, human capital and natural capital. So training in that case would be some kind of investment, but it has to be a training that is more adapted to the needs of the market. In saying so, I'm thinking more about vocational training to make our young people ready to hit the market and be able to take up jobs. That's something that is necessary also.